God will punish you now and forever. Criminals. Any judgment, let it be on record. Any judgment given in this court is rubbish. Ask him where is the law. Ask him what to show. Where is the law? Where is the law?
But I want to make this clear to each and every one of you. Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist, and they have done nothing to prove that he's a terrorist. Since 2016, this case began. From pillar to post, what is he asking for? Justice and equity.
Even when they say there's an outburst, what is the outburst? The outburst is that, allow me, it is my fundamental human right. It is my fundamental human right that I move my final address. That is the outburst. And the judge is saying no. Now, what Nnamdi Kanu is trying to say is that the fact that you are a judge does not give you the right to go against the law that put you there. The judges, even though you are a judge, something gave you the power to have that fantasy.
Hello everyone, my name is Favorite Riri. The long-awaited judgment in Nnamdi Kanu's case is here, and many are watching closely to know the outcome. Nnamdi Kanu's case has drawn widespread attention, not only within Nigeria but across different continents. Many individuals who understand the facts have spoken out boldly and are closely watching the proceeding as the final judgment is delivered today. It is important for everyone to stay alert and follow the outcome carefully. This moment will review much about the integrity of Nigeria's judicial system. There have been growing concerns about how the law is interpreted and applied, and whether some judges may be using their authority to bend the law rather than uphold it. Today's judgment will play a significant role in determining whether citizens can still place their confidence in our judiciary or whether deeper reforms are urgently needed. Guys, please watch till the end. Thank you.
What you see in court, listen, the courtroom is a shrine of injustice. What Master Nnamdi Kanu is facing is persecution and prosecution. He has said this repeatedly. You cannot try a man without a written law. He has only simply asked the judge and the prosecution team to provide him with that section of the law that says you can try him. You cannot try a man under a repealed law. That would not work. It looks as if there is a grand conspiracy to jail Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But how can you jail a man who has done nothing? How can you jail a man that he don't have any evidence to present before the court? It's a conspiracy. It looks as if there is a war between the Igbos and the Yorubas. Bear in mind that this very problem was inherited by President Ahmed Tinubu. They shouldn't make us look as if we're unapproachable. I reserve so many things, but the days and weeks to come by will determine the exact direction we have to follow. But I want to make this clear to each and every one of you. Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist, and they have done nothing to prove that he's a terrorist. Since 2016, this case began. From pillar to post, this same very situation was what killed my parents. In 2017, they could not survive the trauma of Operation Python Dance. What is he asking for? Justice and equity. That's all he stands for. He's not against anybody in particular. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has come to court today to make it clear to the court that he has told the judge that he has no constitutional power to try him. I've been sure the court lacks jurisdiction. Even from the Supreme Court, they made a mess of this case by remitting the same case back to Federal High Court. That is called double jeopardy in law. You cannot try a man who has been discharged and still refer that same case back to back to Federal High Court. What for? But if they had brought in new charges, perhaps we'll understand.
But how would you explain the outburst in court just a while ago?
It's a natural thing to happen because Omotosho is not willing to listen, is not willing to obey the Constitution, is not willing to obey the Supreme Court orders. So what is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu doing in court in the first place?
But you and I know that Justice Omotosho has given Nnamdi Kanu several periods to open his defense. And today he's opening his defense.
No, he did not. He came today for ruling. And you know, let me make this clear to you. By cross-examining those witnesses that came to court, he has opened his defense. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be allowed to go for his final written address. And the very judge does not want to allow him to do that. In the interest of fairness, he should allow him to do so. He said he's proceeding to go and rule. That's what he said today.
But the judge said that in other proceedings that happened before, Nnamdi Kanu said the same thing through his former lawyers, and he's still saying the same thing. That is the ruling of the judge.
But Mazi Nnamdi has the final right for his written address. Is that correct?
But this I don't want to be confrontational.
Yeah.
Apologies. But this same issue has been raised in the past. It was dismissed.
And when you don't adhere to the issues at the point of law, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? They phrase the issues the way they want to phrase it. If they are to go by the constitution of this country, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wouldn't even be in jail in the first place. That you need to understand. I think you and I have followed this case from the beginning up until now. Tell me one single evidence to convict Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Everything is based on hearsay. Nnamdi Kanu made a broadcast in London which was monitored in Nigeria. Specific place they cannot identify it. Then they moved from that charge and said he made broadcast somewhere around the world. Where is it in the world which was monitored in Nigeria? They couldn't establish that. Now, a few days ago, the prosecution came back and said, oh, you made a broadcast in Nigeria. Where is it made exactly? He must have to tell the court. But they are unable to provide all these informations because they don't have any. Also bear in mind that the witnesses they showcase in court, they are mercenaries. They are mercenaries. And that is why we have filed for perjury today at the magistrate court in Wuse. So for how long would this evil keep going? Though everywhere in Nigeria, people are dying. Terrorists are killing people. Did Mazi Nnamdi Kanu kill anyone? The answer is no. So what is he doing in detention? It's an act of evil. Attack against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is attack against the Igbos and the innocent people of this country. Those who believe in fairness and equity should rise up now and not tomorrow. I speak against it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You just heard from the brother of Nnamdi Kanu, that is the person of Emmanuel Kanu.
I mean, anybody in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's shoes will have that outburst.
Well, you think it's right?
Of course he is. I mean, what else can he do? What else can he say? If he is not allowed to exercise his fundamental human right, what else? You try to protest in the best way or in any way you can. I mean, I've witnessed these proceedings on 2 occasions, and I am so disappointed. And in fact, Nigeria should arrive because I think we are at war with the judiciary. Not just Nnamdi Kanu's case. If you look at the judgments and counter-judgments of the judiciary, I mean, it's alarming. It's destroying this country. Remember.
But let me hold you there. The judge is saying that some of these issues that Nnamdi Kanu is raising has been raised in the past and has been addressed. The judge is saying that Nnamdi Kanu was given ample time to open his defense, which he declined severally. That is the position of the judge. What do you make of this statement?
Now, the point is that not that he declined. He opened his defense by cross-examining the witnesses. But what he's saying is that he has nothing to defend because even the law at which they are trying him does not exist. That they are trying him on a repealed law. So there's nothing to defend there. Not that, I mean, in cases where he has to do something in terms of defending himself, like cross-examining the witnesses, he did. But when you now ask somebody to defend something that does not exist, he will tell you that there is nothing to defend there. I think that is the message Nnamdi Kanu is trying to pass. The point is that for the judiciary, they felt they have a right as a judge because the final say lies on the table of the judge. So you can say whatever you like. That's what is happening now. And that is what we've been witnessing in this country for some time now. Okay, the judges are abusing their rights. The judiciary is abusing the law itself. You can't make a law and go against your law. Now, you use one judgment for a particular person and use another. You are messing the judicial system. So that's what Nnamdi Kanu is protesting because it's like he is helpless. So the only thing he can, what he's saying, allow me move my final address. That it is his right. That's the outburst. Because when they say there's an outburst, what is the outburst? The outburst is that allow me, it is my fundamental human right. It is my fundamental human right that I move my final address. That is the outburst. And the judge is saying no. Now, what Nnamdi Kanu is trying to say is that the fact that you are a judge does not give you the right to go against the law that put you there. The judges, even though you are a judge and in any court you sit, you have the final say. But something gave you the power to have that final say. You cannot go against the law that gave you the power to sit in a court and pass judgment. So that's the outburst. That's what Nnamdi Kanu is challenging right now.
Is this a tribal issue? Because Kanu's brother is saying the Yorubas are against the Igbo.
Exactly. In fact, I made mention it in court. It's like the Yoruba nation and the Igbo nation are at war with each other. If you look at what is happening, you look at a government that will engage terrorists, the original terrorists that have killed before, and they say that they are now repentant. I mean, terrorists that will come out in broad daylight and claim responsibility for deaths, and they say they have forgiven them. Now, to worsen the whole thing, they say they have rehabilitated them and poured them into the Nigerian military. And how can the insecurity stop? Now, Nnamdi Kanu, go and listen to all the broadcasts of Nnamdi Kanu from 2014 till now. Everything that young man said is happening now. It's like they have a pre-information of what is going to happen, and they were just giving it out. Now, what is the charges, the terrorism charges that are carrying out against Nnamdi Kanu? Kanu told people, number one, during the NSAS, when the militaries were shooting at people at a toll gate, he said, defend yourself. He is not the first person that has said something like that. So the terrorism, he is a terrorist because he said, people, if the militaries are shooting at you, find a way and defend yourself and kill them too. That is the basis of the terrorism. Now, but people that have carried out terrorism, killed, okay, like the general that was killed, somebody have taken responsibility. IPOP have never taken responsibility for any crime. In fact, what they keep saying is that we are not responsible. Nigerian security, do your job. In fact, they went as far as, in order to blackmail IPOP, did you know that the federal government engaged a Muslim jihadist in the person of Asede Kibo to go and guide Southeast? Did you know that the federal they broke a jail in Imo State, carried all the criminals, handed them over to Asede Kibo? He recruited them and poured them in Imo State. Did you know that the Bubago outfit is the outfit that the federal government used to carry out jihad in Imo State? And now what they were doing is that when they caged the media in Imo State, because when I confronted the media, why don't you report what is happening? They said they are caged, that they will only wait until the police release their report. It is based on the police report that they will write their own report. They caged it. They will perpetrate this act. The next thing you will hear is IPOP. Now, who are these IPOP? You say IPOP. IPOP say it is not us. Why don't you take time and investigate? It never happened. Do you know that in the East today, if anybody killed, they don't carry out investigation? So all they did is to do that to set Nnamdi Kanu up to kill him. Let me tell you, Nnamdi Kanu is the only one man after Otuku that Igbos are rallying around, have seen as a leader. So they don't want that to happen. And well, we don't know what they plan to do, but we are watching. We know what they want to do.
Your name, ma'am?
My name is Lord Onneka Chimeze. I'm the president of Igbo Women Assembly.
Thank you.
Apart from other problems, one of which is the kidnapping, what is known as the extraordinary rendition of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, you cannot cure that. You cannot cure the absence of evidence. You cannot cure every other problem you brought upon yourself in this problem. And that's what we have told them. And in general, because this is also foundational to Nigeria, Nigeria is in search of unity, they claim. Nigeria is in search of nationhood because it has never become a nation. If you want to make that happen, you do justice to all the components of Nigeria. You don't discriminate against somebody because his name is somebody you don't like, or because his religion is what you can't stand, and then you expect the country to be united. That is not going to happen. So, in doing this, you know, we're also encouraging them to have the national healing that can bring about national unity, since they love unity very much. But there can never be unity without justice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Finally, if you say a word, maybe a final piece of advice to government, if they will listen to you, what would that be?
I don't advise government. They have over 2,000 advisors. Anybody who is advising government in Nigeria is the enemy of government. Government of Nigeria don't listen to advice. Otherwise, ChatGPT could have advised them that this case is not going anywhere. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just a prompt on ChatGPT or Grok 4 on Twitter would have advised them that this is not going to go anywhere, no matter how well it is packaged, no matter how well the propaganda is pushed. And look at where we are today in Nigeria. Look at where we are. Nigeria is in a throes of some of its worst security situation. And this is what we are wasting our time doing. You know, we have 35 Christians at the time that we are being accused of persecution of Christians in the bush, attacked by terrorists who were live streamed. You have 25 female students, Muslims, also in the bush with terrorists. You have an army general who has just been murdered by terrorists. You are not focused on that. You are trying Nnamdi Kanu because he carried a microphone to say that he wants Biafra. The only evidence they have in this court is the microphone that they found with him when he was arrested in Lagos. And his underwear, top and bottom. There is no evidence of a gun or an RPG. He was not found with police uniforms. Whereas in Katsina, someone killed an assistant commissioner of police, kept his uniform and wore the uniform to a peace conference, the so-called peace conference. And nothing is done about it. They bring their magazines and their AK-47s and their anti-aircraft guns to meetings. You can't do anything about them, but it's the guy who wears a nice Fendi and a microphone and says, we want justice. 10 years. You can't figure it out. Yes. Thank you.
Yes. All the cases in this country have been discharged. So, as your Lord pleases. This staircase, this outside. Are you trying to access this?
You sure say they go out your allowance?